I totally agree. So Kurt, the interviewer, says, there was a report that you guys are building a TV app. I love that Bloomberg never credits. That was the information that broke that news, I think. He says, are you building a TV app? And he says, let's make some news. That's what the interviewer says. And Adam Mosseri says, we're exploring TV. TV is increasingly important surface. It has been very important for YouTube. It's like very robotic almost at this point. Neil's talked about it publicly, the CEO there. It's been very important for TikTok, which actually I don't know anything about that. So we'd like to figure out how to make sure that we that we show a compelling way on all relevant devices. So we're definitely exploring it, but nothing to announce today, unfortunately. So he's skirting the question. Here was the revealing thing. The interviewer follows up and says, well, you have a bunch of content that is all vertical. How are you going to make that work on the TV? And Adam's like, well, we're going to put a comment section on this. He's like, we have nothing to announce, but I'm just going to describe the product, which is, again, another rant for another time. He kind of glosses over a bunch of things, and the interview doesn't push him hard enough. You should have pushed him much harder, in my opinion. And basically ends up saying, yes, we're going to make a TV app, but what we want to do is draw from our short form vertical content that's going to show up on the TV. Now, here's my first reaction to that. Not going to work. That's the bottom line, in my opinion. It's actually remarkable to me that is the strategy that they're pursuing based off of kind of what he's saying here. Because, geez, I don't want to be sitting in front of my TV and using my Apple TV remote to swipe through Instagram Reels or TikToks. I want to click on a video and watch a longer piece of content and let it go. But that's what the interviewer is asking. Is like, hey, are you going to try and push for other type of content? And Adam says, no, I don't think we necessarily are.
So the pizza shop, they heard about this cheeseburger guy on the outskirts of town, and they're losing business to him big time, okay? Not just them, but every other pizza shop. They're like, what the heck? Let me ask you something about the pizza shop. I know that you're not like a culinary expert. I think you can probably answer this, though. Is a pizza shop tooled to compete against a cheeseburger shop just from a basic tool standpoint?
To some degree, yes, but absolutely. And in the whole of it, no.
No. Because, okay, let me just tell you, pizzas, you need an oven, right? Or you need a pizza oven, and that's what you're good.
I'm the king of pizza, and I have stuff with cheese and meat and
bread.
Okay,
so let's get to it. Don't reveal it, okay? So you're like, damn, I want to do it. So like, you want to do what that other guy did, but you're not, because cheeseburgers, you need a flat top, right? Yeah. You just need the topping. It's funny. It's like, it's kind of actually easier to make a cheeseburger, but you know, as a pizza shop, you've got an oven, but you don't have a flat top, so you have to buy one. But guess what? Why do people go to the pizza shop? What do they love?
They love the pizza.
They love the pizza. So if you're not tool for the cheeseburgers, but you're like, you know what, I want to take advantage of this cheeseburger love people have, what do you do to your pizzas?
You put them face on top of each other?
No.
I don't know. That's
you
what I
make
was
a
thinking.
cheeseburger pizza.
Yeah, okay. I see what you mean. With cheeseburger toppings and
might
things like that.
be novel, might get some people, but will it be groundbreaking, and will it steal the cheeseburger lovers from the cheeseburger stand?
No, it's definitely a worse cheeseburger and a worse pizza, most likely.
It's janky and it's forced.
Yeah.
Instagram, TikTok, all these platforms, just the same way they had to do short form, there's no way they can replicate what TV is doing.
Yeah.
So that was actually the most revealing thing, was one, his hesitation to talk about. I didn't even know that was a platform. You just sent me an unlisted video that you uploaded. I didn't have any contact with the show and who the audience was, which I thought was funny. I'm just listening to his answer, very much no context, right? You said, just listen to this. Now that I know, I'm like, it's even more revealing that he was avoiding the TV discussion.
Yeah.
Because even though he kind of did reveal, hey, this is how we're going to do it, it was all janky. Exactly. It's cheeseburger pizza, right? When really what they got to do, when I say they got to do, they might never be able to do, is actually cook cheeseburgers, which guess who is totally fit for making cheeseburgers? YouTube horizontal. He even the interview even asked, like, so are you guys going to license horizontal content? And Adam's like, yeah, we've been exploring that, but dude, that's so expensive.
Yeah,
it's so expensive. If you don't know what that is like they're going to pay other people that already have horizontal content to put it on there and license it out. Well, then that ruins the whole thing, right? The reason platforms work is because other people are willing to make content for you. People don't upload horizontal content to Instagram for a reason, right? So For Instagram to win, guess what they'd have to do? They change that pizza shop to a cheeseburger shop.
Yeah.
They change the platform. And if you do that, guess what? You change everything about it, the whole thing. So for me, it's an example of a greater problem that a lot of these platforms are going through. Right here, it's all fit for vertical.
100%.
It's all fit for the phone, right? And so the cheeseburger, I think cheeseburgers may be like not the best example, because a cheeseburger, it's just like a good comparison. Because would you say a cheeseburger and a pizza is completely different?
Oh, totally.
I mean, it doesn't take a rocket science. But what's even more different than a pizza? I'd say like a 5-course meal at a fancy restaurant. Okay. Even more so. Okay. And so that's what television is.
Yeah.
YouTube, they just barely squeeze by. But their biggest success has nothing to do with what they were intentional about. It was just how the platform started. It was a horizontal platform.
Yes.
And the TV coming back was like their saving grace.
Yes.
Because they were, guess what? Once, this was the ironic thing. Once it was a cheeseburger town. And everybody was into cheeseburgers. And guess what? They were the biggest cheeseburger business of the town. But then there was a pizza shop on the outskirts of the city that started, okay? And guess what happened?
Yeah.
The cheeseburger shop over here, YouTube, had to play the pizza game for a while. And they did. And they just barely hung on. And that's what's so funny. They never stopped making the cheeseburgers. The cheeseburgers being horizontal content. And now it's everything. And the only place you can get the legit cheeseburger is a place that was the original OG cheeseburger place.
Yes.
And I know I'm going to stop talking about cheeseburgers. Cheeseburger is horizontal video, and it's perfect for the TV.
Yes.
And so I'm going off on a rant on this, because this is the only thing people need to know if you really want to take advantage of what's happening. And a lot of creators are getting the benefit, and everybody else is still competing on the pizza game. Long form content for horizontal. And that's not just for the TV, but the TV is just like the biggest device that no one's competing on. People watch horizontal on the phone, on the iPad, on the computer, and that's what's cool. It's still formatted for all those devices.
Exactly.
But vertical is really only formatted for one, which is the phone and maybe the iPad. But honestly, like, what's the percentage of people even buying iPads these days?
It's much lower than it was in the past.
Why is that? Because now it's a stark difference between the phone and the TV.
Exactly.
So everything in between, device-wise, is not as
kind of gets squeezed
out, because you're kind of making the choice, because it's both the small and the big. It's not also the middle. Think about this. How long have you been telling me I need to buy an iPad and I haven't bought an iPad? You're like my tech guy and I haven't done it. Why? Because when I think about convenience, do I really want to carry around an iPad? I probably don't. But I will totally carry this around, and I got plenty of TVs at home. And so that's why right now the game is horizontal long form videos. And going back to the interview, he can't answer because they got nothing.
Yeah.
They got to retool the whole thing and be something different, when ultimately, guess what you should probably do? Create another platform, which they kind of tried to do and they failed at. It was Instagram TV, and it was just too hard.
Yeah.